All right, guys, so today is going to be one of the last things that we work on as far as adding anything new to our websites. And so this is going to be on your Is Climate Change Real page on your website. And last week we had spent some time focusing on proving any claims made by skeptics or people that were doubting climate change and coming up with a counterclaim, basically arguing against what they had said. So, for example, there's no consensus among scientists that climate change is real. However, so here's our counterclaim. However, the vast majority of scientists agree that climate change is real. So, building off of that today, we are going to be looking at the fact that humans do have an impact on climate change. And scientists worldwide are noticing that there have been some major changes in the environment since so many of countries have enforced lockdown due to the coronavirus. And so, one of the things that I would like for you guys to do today, and if you'd like to pause the video and grab a pencil and paper, go ahead and do this. I want you all to have a topic sentence that you can even copy this or that is going to be pretty similar. According to scientists, there is an overwhelming amount of evidence that human activity has contributed to climate change. So, above, our focus was on proving that climate change is a real thing. There might be skeptics out there, but we're arguing that it is a for real thing and we need to do something about it. Down here, we're continuing to argue that yes, climate change is real, but this thing here is the most important part. Humans have something to do with climate change, and we're a part of the problem, but we can also be a part of the solution. And so that's going to be my topic sentence as I get further into my paragraph discussing that there have been some positive effects on the environment due to so many less people being out and about. There's not as many people flying in airplanes right now. There's not as many people going to and from work each day. So I followed it up with a sentence here that you could even try to paraphrase and put in your own words. Since cities worldwide have enforced lockdowns due to COVID 19, there have been positive changes in the environment. Or you could even say something, there have been positive changes in the environment due to so many people, staying at home during COVID 19, however you'd like to word that. So, one of the things that I came up with just from our research so far with like decreasing our carbon footprint, there has been less carbon dioxide emitted or let out into the air recently, and several reports stating that the decrease in pollution. I'm not driving my car nearly as much as I normally do. So even for me personally, I'm decreasing my carbon footprint. For example, since Italy has locked down, there have been less greenhouse gases emitted into the air. So, here, when you guys get into Google Classroom today under environmental impacts, there is going to be a slideshow that is going to show you some of the different environmental impacts that scientists have noticed worldwide. Some of them has to do with the air pollution decrease in China. Some have to do with the Venice canals in Italy. Others have to do with animals and how they've actually been positively affected by this. And another is being able to see the Himalayan mountains, which normally have not been seen in decades because there's so much air pollution. And so, the first time in like 30 years, people can actually say, like, from my window, I can actually see the mountains. There's less pollution in the air. So, I'd like you to pick out two examples that can support your claim today, saying that there has been a positive impact on the environment with so many less people being out and about. So, one of the things that I looked at was the slide about the Venice canals. And it kind of reminds me of the city in A Wish in the Dark. It almost looks like they're like water highways. And so before COVID 19, look how green the waters were. Has a lot of boat traffic due to the gondolas going on them quite frequently, and there's people out and about. It's kind of known for people traveling there in order to go on these gondola rides. After COVID 19, the boats have been locked up, people haven't been going on the canal. Look at the difference in the color of the water. So for me, this really interested me. So I'm going to go ahead and look here and see what the research has said. While Italy, like China, has had an unfortunately high number of coronavirus cases, its output, meaning like the amount that's been, put out into the air, its output of greenhouse gases has dropped since the entire country has been essentially on lockdown. One NBC News article said Venice's usually murky canal waters began to get clear, with fish visible in the water below. The water now looks clear because excuse me, there's less traffic on the canals, allowing the sediment, which is like the rocks and like if rocks start to break apart, anything like on the bottom of a river or ocean, the sediment to stay at the bottom. A spokesman at the Venice mayor's office told CNN. So, this part here, since this is a quote that someone specifically said, I can't paraphrase that. So, in my website, I'm going to use that as a direct quote. So, I use the transition phrase, in addition, many citizens have noticed that even the canals look cleaner due to the decline in boats in the Venice Canal. And then this is when I put in my direct quote. The water now looks clear, dot, 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 dot. So for me, now I need to go back to the slides and find one more example that shows that due to the decrease in human activity, there's been a real positive change in the environment. So for you guys today, remember this is going to be on your Is Climate Change Real page. You're going to need to include either a new layout or a text box. And if you'd like to change your heading or keep it like mine, that's totally fine. And then again, our purpose of this is to make sure that we're proving that human activity does contribute to climate change. And because there's a less amount of human activity out in the world right now, our carbon footprint has decreased, but there's also been some positive changes in the environment. So if you need help with this today, I'll be available for a Google Meet for writing at 11 or 1 o'clock. So just let me know if you guys need help today.